What up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? If you do not know who I am, my name is RJ. And I usually talk about metaphysics and chi cultivation, alchemy, magic, and all that good stuff. One of the things I want to talk about is, just cultivating your energy. What does it mean to cultivate your energy? How do you successfully cultivate your energy? Because there's tons of ways to work with your energy. Everything is energy, so there's a lot of different philosophies and modalities and everything else when it comes to how to develop and cultivate your energy. But what does that really mean? Can you do it effectively, efficiently, right, so you get the most benefit out of your practice? What a baby kiss XO, how are you doing? um so there's levels to it. um Remember that wherever you place your mind, that's what you create a type of resonance with, right? Whatever you pay attention to, the mind literally begins to give that thing power. You can think on the most mundane level. Say you get angry, right? And you start paying attention to what made you angry, you just get more angry. You literally begin to fuel that through your vitality, through your body chemistry and everything else. And that literal energy of the emotion gets fueled by your attention, essentially the way you focus your mind. Um, this same phenomena happens all the way across the board, from how you train your vital life force, how you train your astral chi, how you train the vitality and the focus of your mind, all the way to cultivating akasha and light. Whatever you pay attention to and that pathway in which you develop, that is what begins to get amplified. What up, Jessica? How you doing? So it's important to really identify, you know how are you cultivating your light, how are you cultivating your energy, because the pathway that you begin to develop in your path of cultivation, in your path of ascension, whatever that path may be, when you finally reach light and you get to observe the light of your mind and get to understand the light of your mind through akasha, that light is going to express itself through the pathway that you got there, essentially. And I say this in my own personal experience, right? So for me, I teach metaphysics, I teach alchemy, I teach magic, qigong, and everything else. And once I achieved, certain level of enlightenment, and was able to recognize the light of my mind and create that pathway through the akasha. Now, when I touch light and work with light, no matter what light that I'm working with, it literally comes down the vibrational scale through the pathway in which I created to get there. So when I'm working with, different spiritual practices and stuff like that, literally my primary pathway is through me teaching, through my lessons, whatever type of light I'm working with. Literally, it comes through, my students, through people who I interact with, through TikTok, through all these different ways that were a part of my experience. And this applies to everybody, right? Your path of light, your path of energy cultivation, once you begin to recognize it, did not begin yesterday. It didn't begin when you started studying qigong. It didn't begin when you started studying magic and alchemy and wicca or whatever it is your thing is. It didn't begin there. It began way before that. Your path of light has been throughout your entire lifetime. So being able to recognize how the light of your mind, right, the higher self, the God self, hey Ava, how you doing, has been guiding you through each step, right? So you can learn the lessons and grow and evolve and everything else. The more that you can recognize the evolution that God, your God self, your guardian angels, the whatever your relationship to it is, has been guiding you through, you can see what that path is. For those of you that choose to take advantage of your divinity, you can look very clearly, oh wow, I went through this so I could take advantage of this, so I can view the world in this way, so I can help these people who's been through this same similar type of thing, right? So it's that same concept, that same idea. This is why when people go through their spiritual development and they begin to heal, right? They begin to see, oh, through that healing or raise in frequency and vibration in relation to whatever trauma that led them to even want to heal their self or grow. That's part of their path. That's part of their energy cultivation. That's part of, just the path of light and life that everybody goes through, right? So understanding that path, and when you get to a certain degree, when you start working with akasha and light and start streaming that light, and there's different ways you can work with light. You can stream it from your crown down through your root into the ground, and work your way through each body. You can whole body pour breathe that light, but whichever way you work with it, that light is going to hit those tuning forks of your experience, of the things that you've experienced before and your pathway of cultivating light, and it's going to bounce off of those tuning forks, and that is how it's going to express itself. For those of you that's in the course, what up, Natasha? What up, Rhonda? I see you in here. Um, for those of you in the course, you may see that, as you continue to practice, especially if you're in the invocation or in the Kabbalah courses and stuff like that, that you'll get past resonances, coming up through the Akasha, past experiences and stuff, and things that you've developed. There's tons of synchronicities and resonances that start to come up through your understanding of what you experienced in the past. So that light will begin to glow based off of your pathway to Akasha and light. So the way you cultivate it matters. Your relationship to it matters. There's ways that you can mitigate and change different aspects and reprogram your DNA in certain ways if you're experiencing something that you don't want to experience. But once again, understanding your path of light, understanding the energy that you're cultivating through the focus of your mind, through your energy practices, through your rituals, through the people you connect with, the spaces in which you inhabit. These are all very, very, very important things. So when you are developing yourself and you start touching higher frequencies of light, whatever that light is, when we talk about um, just energy cultivation, everything is light. Everything, we experience everything as a type of light. So it's like a general thing, but when you hear me talking about light, for the most part, I'm talking about non-dual light and the relationship between the akasha and the non-dual light of your mind. And depending on your own level of resonance and understanding, um, this is what dictates your experience. This is what dictates your karma. This is what dictates the quality of life you have, the quality of your relationships, how much money you make, how emotionally stable you are, right? So looking at this, establishing this, building an understanding of the vibrational scale, right? So we can look at on the very base level, right? If you're cultivating energy, for those of you that's been following some of the qigong stuff that I've been teaching, vital energy is how things get expressed in the physical realm through your vitality. When you begin to do the vital energy practices and stuff, your vitality literally begins to glow. You can look at people who are like vegan or like that work out a lot, right? They literally have this type of vitality and glow to them because that's the type of light that they primarily pay attention to, and they glow because of it. And their spirit literally begins to radiate outward because that's the light that they're primarily paying attention to. In Hermetics, this is where we start. In any true Qigong system, this is where you start. This is the gateway in. This is the first type of light you start to cultivate. And, this is your gateway into developing awareness and sensitivity and mastery and control over the higher levels of light and energy that you begin to work with, is through your vitality. That's step one, right? So, starting with this base level, how are you cultivating your vitality? This is very, very important. You can see people who may not have a full understanding of the vibrational scale and how their spiritual practices and the light that they're working with expresses itself through them. But say when you first learn about food and nutrition and you go off the deep end, okay, cool, I'm just going to be a raw vegan, right? And when you start doing certain spiritual practice on top of that, that light of that spiritual practice is going to put all of that vital life force that you've been cultivating on steroids. And because you got, the growth that you got from being a raw vegan or whatever it is, that light is going to tell you this is the only way. Everybody else is stupid, because they still eat meat. And this is not, because when you started to cultivate your relationship to your vitality, your vital life force, and that life force begin to glow and radiate outward, it literally feeds that tuning fork, right? For other people, say you're working in the realms of Qigong and you're developing your relationship with your environment, right? And with the trees and building different levels of consciousness and being able to expand your mind into the environment and things like that. Once you start working with higher frequencies of light, it's going to express itself through that. Like for me, my primary thing was just that, this qigong. So I get urges all the time. Cool, I need to be out in nature, I need to go out and practice. I'm all the light that I'm cultivating, all the astral energies and chi and all the light of my mind, literally go in nature. This is how you're going to get your benefit. This is how you're going to um grow the most in your physical, emotional, and spiritual, development, is through this pathway. And that's how it expresses itself. Other people, it might be going to the gym. For other people, it might be, their social networks and connections and going out and doing group Zumba stuff or whatever. But that light is going to amplify that. Now, on the astral level, right? Think about this, and then for everybody in the course, look at your path, look at everything that you've been experiencing lately as you're going deeper into some of the practices, and how that light is seeking to express itself through this pathway of vital, astral, mental, through the akasha, through light, through non-dual light. And depending on the level of non-duality in which you're in, that light is going to be a little different, right? But emotionally, astrally, right? When we're looking at the psychology of the elements, your water element is all about social networks and having a partner and being able to express your emotions and love and all these different aspects, right? And community. That is going to also seek to express itself through your vitality, right? So you'll get urges. Cool, this makes me feel really good when I commune with people who are on the same wavelength, and can match my energy and stuff like that. So it's going to express itself through that. And when you are expressing each one of the elements, once again, this is creating a pathway. And people do it in different ways. Hey Diana, how you doing? People do this in different ways. Remember, when we're learning the psychology of the elements, you know, you don't have to directly go super deep into high level mystical qigong to cultivate fire, air, water, earth, and akasha, and even light. Fire element is just expressing your willpower. You can express it to that level. Break your barriers and have this high level of spiritual growth through running, through just running, right? When it comes to air element, learning, simple as that. Literally just learning, figuring stuff out. You can express very high levels of air element and bring it into resonance in every single part of your being, literally just through learning. You don't have to go and commune with the air spirits in the middle of the mountains to get it, right? Earth element, be still. Literally be still. Allow your mind, your emotions, your physical body to sit his ass down and just be still, focused. Allow, that insight, and for everything to rest, in order for you to gain resonance with other things, and then for your mind to, be healthy, for emotions to be healthy. Literally, you have to be still. It's earth element, simple as that. You don't have to go in deep into a cave and commune with the earth spirits and stuff. That you'll get there a lot faster, you know, doing it that way, but it's not necessary. But whatever way you express the elements, once again, as you raise up the vibrational scale, you're creating this pathway through your physical body, right? Your physical actions, your body mechanics, where you go, the environments you're in, right? Your vitality is affected, your astral emotional energies are affected, right? And you're creating this pathway mentally. Where's the space of your mind? What realm is your mind in? Where do you focus your mind? What up, Augusta? What up, Lynn? What up, Jade? I see you joining here. Um, so this is the pathway that we're creating. And once again, light is going to express itself through these pathways that we're creating, vitally, astrally, mentally, through the akasha, and through light. So you're building a pathway up, and when you start working with energy up there, it's going to hit all those tuning forks that you've established on the way down. And that's the nature of how it works. So the way that you cultivate it is very, very important. That's why it's important to have a understanding of your path and understanding of esoteric psychology and the elements and stuff like that. What up, Frank Lee? How you doing? Because If you're just out here doing like a bunch of random spiritual practices and stuff like that, then you might just be floating. You'll end up in this space in which, you might have some successes in your understanding and stuff like that, but you're not going to get to where you want to be because there's no congruency. There's no, no understanding that air element aspect of this is the path. So you can synchronize with it because you have to synchronize with it. And I'm good. What up, Dante? How you doing? Um, I'm doing absolutely amazing. This is actually a really, really beautiful day. I'm sitting here in Cali. It's like, I don't know, 67 degrees or something. It's a wonderful, better than ever. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So, back on what we were talking about, and yeah, join the Discord. For any of you guys that find interest in this, I've talked to a lot of people lately. They feel like they're alone. They don't have the community. Their family don't understand them. They're becoming more aware. Their abilities and things like that are coming up to the surface, and they're like, I can't talk to my mom about this because she won't understand, or my partner might think I'm crazy, or whatever it is. If you need somewhere to vent and to share your experiences and stuff like that, join the Discord. Going to be a lot more active on there or whatever too. And go from TikTok to Discord, and even have like group sessions and stuff on the Discord. You're more than welcome to join it. It's free. You can post, share your story, share who and what you are, and just go from there. So that's a safe space to be able to do that. And the link is in the bio. So bro, I can talk to no one about any of those topics. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, there's plenty of people I've talked to even within the course. I feel like, oh, I'm kind of alone on this because I don't have anybody to completely talk about this. And that's why I've created the space and created the Discord and everything else. Even if you're not in the course or anything, like, it's important to have a community, a tribe, people that have similar viewpoints and connections, so you can get the growth and stuff of the collective. It's important to understand that you're, first off, you're never alone. But the more you feel like that, the easier it is for you to contract and not get the benefit of understanding your connection to the all, to your soul tribe, and to all these other people that are in similar situations. And the more you understand, right, and go through the elements, the more the air element you understand, the more you have your water element of a community, a tribe to share your connections with, right, the more you can express your willpower through your understanding and your connections, the more you get that earth element ability to have structure and to have balance and even wealth within your experience, because once again, that's how you can express the elements, simply through that. And it's alchemy of a happy life. Same psychology, and just from something as simple as that. But if you want to take it to the extreme, cool. You can learn all the qigong, alchemical practices, and everything else, and get much more benefit a little quicker. But you'll still get the benefit either way. So definitely check out the Discord. If you have any questions for anybody, by all means, you can drop them here in the comments. If this is your first time, chilling with me or anything, drop a comment. Feel free to tap the screen, see how many people we can get in here. But back to our subject, right? And that was still on the topic of the subject. How you express the elements, how you're creating this pathway from your physical body, right? Your physical movements, your physical body chemistry is your connection to the physical realm. The things that you do physically connects to things mentally, akashically, through light, emotionally, and everything else into this physical realm. You know, this is important to understand. That's why when people do certain rituals and stuff like that, they do body movement and dances and stuff like that, because literally you're bringing it into the physical realm. So that's your connection. And through this pathway in which you are creating, that's how it's going to express, literally through your physical environment, your physical experience. There's people who their path of light that they've developed so far, maybe because of I'm going to use the word ignorance, because lack of knowing about the path or anything like that, or the metaphysics of it, or just being unaware, right? That in their physical life, their physical environment, the physical people that they interact with or whatever, they have a life of, of suffering, or they experience all types of negative things. They have it made up that, no matter what, I'm always getting sick and this and that, and negative things are always happening, and then all the, that type of psychology. But that's what their physical actions will literally cultivate. Their emotional actions and energies cultivate that. The frequency of their mind is tuned into that concept and idea and in that realm. And physically, that's what they live. Even though the people next door to them are happy, healthy, wealthy, and everything else, literally right next door, you know, but this path of light, and cultivating your light, and purifying your chi, and going through those different pathways is very, very important. This is why I teach what I teach, because the more you can understand that, the more your physical reality will reflect the practices and your understanding, the frequency of your mind, and the quicker you're able to get there. The purifying of your chi, the purifying of your chi is very, very, very important, because we have all types of bits of data and information that we take from our environment, from other people, from the collective, from our parents, from our kids, from our, ex partners and everything else. And if it's not purified, once again, when light comes into form from the mental into the astral into the physical, it's going to touch those tuning forks that you have, and it's going to express itself through that. It's creating the karma in which you are using to interact with the world. And it's going to bounce off your belief structures, and you're going to see things as that. That's what creates your reality. And going through the process of being able to purify this, you literally purify your entire reality, the karma in which you encounter in your path of light, and life becomes easy. Literally, it literally becomes completely in alignment with what your path is, not other people's paths or projections and belief structures, or the collective, or social media, or mainstream media, or the music you just listen to, or all these other things. You want to be able to purify your chi, purify your energy and stuff. So when light comes into form, your path is what gets amplified, not all this other stuff that we literally just take on subconsciously. Because wherever you're at, whatever space you're in, whatever environment you're in, that energy, if you haven't developed a way to purify yourself and to protect yourself, it's going to become a part of your mind. It's going to become a part of your astral emotional body. It's going to become a part of your physical body. It says fruit fasting purifies everything. Not everything. It purifies your physical body. There's levels to it, and each level that you're working with, things you do physically affect your physical body. Now, can it release some physical things to make it easier to be sensitive to your astral energies? Yes, but it's not as simple as eat something and then your emotions are going to feel better. It's not like that. To work with the astral body, you have to work astrally. To work with the mental body, you have to work mentally. To work with the physical body, primarily, you have to work physically. Now, yes, there's some interplay between them, because we are mental, astral, physical beings, right? But primarily, you can't just eat and be like, oh, my, the strength of my mind is this. Yes, you can. You have mental clarity, yes, because your body chemistry is the conductor through, right, each realm. Your body chemistry is how you express yourself mentally and astrally in this physical realm. So your body chemistry does matter, but is on this level of change and influence on your reality. What you eat only affects it a very, very small percentage. So the thinner we get, the deeper it goes. We're addicted to everything. So like I said, there's levels to it. There's most definitely levels to it. I wish Lisa was in here, because she would tell me you need to make a shirt out of that. But there's levels to it, and it's not so much the thinner you get. No, it's the less emotional attachment you have to things, the more your mind becomes clear, and the more you can have a clear energetic connection to the things that you pay attention to. It's not the thinner you get. There's people that are, kind of big and completely enlightened. I mean, fully enlightened, can put every other people into nirvanic states and everything else. And it doesn't mean that, because they're not thin, that that they can't experience that. This is definitely not about thinness. Yeah, not at all. See, so how do we purify our energy? Also, I'm going to see why people can't connect to the Discord. It's been kind of dry in there lately. I thought I updated the link to that. If somebody could, I don't know if you can put a link in here. Probably not because they want people to stay on TikTok. But if you shoot me a message, you want to join the Discord or join in the course or anything, I'll be sure to give you the actual URL for you to be able to join it. I have to check my links and stuff too. But when it comes to purifying your chi, right? It's different ways to purify your chi. Number one, the way that I teach is through literal alchemy. I teach hermetic alchemy. So you're developing, light. You're developing your relationship to energy and your ability for energy to be submissive to your mind. So there's different levels of energy you're working with. We learn number one through building the ball, right? And your ability to discern and to work with vital life force, right? And that's your vehicle into the higher realms and into the higher levels of your psyche and in your being. So developing that relationship just through doing like the building the ball exercise. There's plenty of videos on my page. You can check it out. One of them is pinned. Do that. Do that. Number one, doing that practice and tons of other practices, um, you're developing the ability to put your mind outside of your body chemistry, outside of your physical structure, where it literally gains the ability to be external, where you're not bound by your emotions or you're not bound by your literal body chemistry. So the spirit senses wake up. And from there, you get into a point in which you become more aware of everything else. You begin to see truth. Your mind literally begins to expand. You are going into an expanded state of consciousness from literally just that single exercise. And there's tons of other ways that you can, expand on that. What up, Nicole? How are you doing? um and from there, you work on expanding, contracting exercises, building different levels of awareness and different levels of willpower on that frequency of the vital energy, and then you learn how to transform that energy from a vital state into an astral state. When you're working with it in an astral state, you're gaining awareness of your own astral nature, your own astral body, all the different astral energies that's a part of your field. And from that alone, just transforming that energy and literally just paying attention to your own astral nature, you begin to see your own stuff. You begin to see your own stuff outside of your belief structures, outside of your body chemistry, outside of, this is me and this is who I am. It's literally the spirit senses wake up and it's like, oh, wow, I can see how my thoughts, my feelings, my actions and stuff affect my entire reality. And you have to develop some sense of this in order for you to see where you're stuck. And you are the only one who has to see where you're stuck. Other people can see their relationship to where you're stuck, and even if they tell you, you will not see it. You know plenty of people. Oh, if they did this or whatever, they would be in a better place. Yeah, you don't. You think that you're separate from that? Not at all. None of us are. So being able to relate to energy and for that energy to become submissive to your mind. So it's a certain practices and stuff that you have to do, and certain levels of development you have to do to equalize with the astral and to get to know your own astral personality. And then you can work on literally reprogramming and refining your astral body. The astral body is also your soul, essentially. Literally same thing. But when you begin to work with the astral elements, you can literally program each one of the elements. And this is my relationship to water, my relationship to air, fire, earth, and you develop equanimity astrally, emotionally. And from there, you go into through that level of equanimity and quietude in your astral body, and you begin to see your own stuff and equalize and to balance out your own astral stuff. That's the purification process. But it goes further than that. Once you purify your chi and develop equanimity, now this is where the spirit senses go into a whole nother level, where you can start developing high levels of psychic awareness. Because in order for you to truly be psychic, and there's tons of psychics out there and that are sensitive to all types of stuff, but if you have not developed the level of equanimity, you're going to be amplifying your belief structures of what you are intuitively streaming and channeling, which is a big negative. It's a big no-no when it comes to, like, being in resonance with truth, right? So equanimity is very, very important, because this is what gives you the ability to see outside of your own belief structures, to see outside of your own labeling system of everything, of yourself, of your reality, of other people, of the system, of literally everything that your mind touches. So equanimity is very, very important. Equanimity is a Buddhist term. In Hermetics, Franz Barton calls it magical equilibrium. There's a there's a level within Buddhism where they call it, you're developing the Bodhi mind. You're developing the mind's ability to see things as they are, not out of your belief structures. It's a silent mind. Yeah. So, you have to be able to tell your emotions and your belief structures to shut up and be still. And it's a literal state. It's not like, oh, I'm equanimous because I don't get mad. It's not that. It's the ability for you, literally, it's a state of being. And it's a skill that you're developing, where you can put your mind in equanimity, you can put your physical body in equanimity, you can put your emotional body, your astral body in equanimity, and then from there, the spirit can express itself. And you have access to your spirit senses, to a clean, energetic connection when consciousness touches consciousness, and being able to interact from that level. And that's what you're developing, because you want to see things from that higher spiritual level, not from a lower belief-based, cultural, type of collective belief structure about what something is. Because if you study quantum physics, you would know, even through the double slit experiment, that when light is being observed, it acts according to the observer, not according to what is. So whatever your mind touches, whatever the light of your mind touches, is going to change based off of your belief structure about what that thing is. This is why everybody believes that everything they believe to be true is true, because to them it appears to be true. Doesn't make it so. It's just you believe it, so that's what you get. Same way people believe that there's people keeping you in poverty, and there's a system that's trying to keep you in, and that's literally not true. But if you tell yourself that's true, you have no other reason to act differently, because everything will point towards that being true. And this is quantum physics, so you want to develop the ability to see things outside of your labeling system, outside of your emotional attachments and belief structures, because spiritual growth is about truth. That's what it's about. Truth. Higher levels of truth. All these different systems, all these different spiritual, cults and religions and stuff like that, they're all trying to give people truth, and there's different levels of truth. And some of them are delusional. Some of them are not based off of truth whatsoever. Some of them have bits of truth here and there. Some of them are based on universal truths that you can only really experience by developing equanimity. So even if somebody who was unaware and uninitiated were to go and learn these truths, they could never see it for what it is, because they haven't done the work. They haven't built that pathway. They haven't cultivated the mind and the emotional, spiritual maturity to see truth. It's a product of the spirit. It's not a product of the intellect. You can try to intellectualize it all you want, but if you have not done the work and developed yourself astrally and mentally, then you will not be able to see it. It's a product of the spirit. This is how to start. So, I teach a course in this, and this is the thing. The primary reason, is different ways to start. One, you have to want it. You have to truly want it. Your own path should be sacred to you. Because this affects your whole reality. Life is easy. To understand universal truth and dharma and everything else, and to use these universal truths to get to where you want to go, it's easy. It's not hard, but you have to understand it. It's literally, you have to understand it, and you have to be dedicated to it. A lot of people say they want to know and to develop themselves, but they're not dedicated to it. So what's the name of my course? It's Master Key Psychic Ascension Program. I've been teaching this course for years now, and it's very, very beautiful. For anybody interested, I'll ask all the questions that you want. There's tons of people in here who are currently in the course. I've been in the course, done other courses. I came to Sedona to retreats and stuff and everything else, and you can ask them, ask any questions you want, and I'll share the information about it. Level 1 is mastering the elements. How do you develop equanimity mentally, astrally, physically, primarily astrally in the beginning. Right now, if you join, it's 222. If you use the promo code Moon, it's 222. You get year-long access to the video libraries. Level 1 is Mastering the Elements. Level 2 is Psychic Development. I might add level 3 into that, but I think I'll keep it separate because the level 3 you can do monthly. But level 3 I think I'll keep separate because you have to do level 1 and level 2 to get the benefit of level 3. Level 3 is Magical Invocation. Level 4 is a true Kabbalah, and it's a complete system in spiritual development. Is most of it videos to self-watch. That's a big part of it, but I also hold weekly Zoom meetings. So Sundays at 9 a.m. you can join any Sunday, and it's pretty much every Sunday, unless I have something very special that I have to be at and obligated to be there, but that's really rare when I have something that's conflicting with the Sunday Zoom meeting. So every Sunday you have group Zoom meetings you can join. You can ask questions, you can book one-on-ones, you can, we do attunements and quantum healing sessions, and the power of the group helps you get there quicker. Because we all have our own relationship, right, and our own perception of universal truth, right? We're doing these universal practices to develop ourselves, to awaken our inner genius, to literally align to our soul's purpose so our life can be easy and purposeful, right? That's what it's about, so we can see higher truth, right? Being able to do that with a group, you literally get this type of subconscious transfer of understanding and resonance, and even through just communicating with each other, the way that you view your truth and your experience will literally begin to grow and expand with the power of the group in ways that I can't really, I can't even really explain. It's really, really cool how it functions, right? But it's really, really beautiful. Now, he says, I will manifest this alignment. So, it says, how do I get my money up so I can join it? So it's a bunch of different ways. One of the quickest and easiest ways is literally through prayer. And I'm saying this as as a mystic. I'm not even a Christian mystic, but literally prayer is the most quickest and most powerful way to reprogram your subconscious mind, for you to enter into equanimity, and for you to, allow the higher parts of your being to manifest into literally align yourself to the outcomes that you want. And I mean this metaphysically. When you go into prayer, you're humbling yourself to something higher than yourself. Then you go through this whole vibrational scale of prayer. So it's humility, right? You're humbling yourself. It's a type of sacredness, reverence, right? Type of stillness that you're cultivating. And the frequency of your mind, literally everything becomes still. Your body chemistry, the bacteria on your skin, your emotions become still, your mind becomes still, and your awareness literally goes to that highest level of attainment and sacredness that you've developed through prayer. And then from there, you state your prayer. Surrendering to this. I'm allowing this. And everything in you has no other choice but to submit to it. Because that's how prayer works. That's the metaphysics of prayer. That's why every system uses prayer. Because it's one of the most powerful ways to literally tap into the highest aspects of you. No matter what that level is at this point in time, that's your quickest doorway to do that. And surrendering to the process. And that's the thing. We have this idea of, what it means to, for wealth to come into my experience. So this is one thing that will help everybody. And this is a Kabbalah teaching. We kind of talked about this a few weeks ago. When it comes to money, if your idea and concept of money is it can only come through this one channel, then you're literally shutting off all the other doors. And that's a type of idolatry. You're worshiping, you say you work a job, right? And if you believe that your finances can only come from this job, then that's how you're going to get it. It's a belief-based thing. The astral is a belief-based thing. And you literally are shutting out all the other pathways in which abundance and wealth and money can flow into your experience. If you have this strong belief that, oh my God, if I don't have this job, this is it. You're essentially saying that not the universal mind, right? God, infinite intelligence, right? The all is providing for you. You're saying that, oh no, my employer, so-and-so incorporated, that's the only channel. And then it's the type of you're worshiping that, right? And it's negatives that come from that. You're literally stopping those channels from flowing. And it's important that you do not do that. You know, a big part of ascension, and especially in the highest teachings on, highest spiritual teachings or teachings on non-self, the more you contract into, oh, it's just poor old me, and it's, I don't have anybody, and this and that, then you're literally contracting and cutting and severing your ties to your spirit, to your spiritual, heritage, to all the work that you've done and all the other incarnations, all the other light that you cultivated. You're literally just contracting. And that's the experience you're going to have, this contracted state of poor little me, I'm a victim. But expanding and knowing that you are connected to all and kind of surrendering to that allows those pathways to open up. There's a book that I always share, so I'm finally ready for this with their code for that 222 price. It's Moon. Use the PayPal option if you can. And the promo code is Moon. It's 50% off. But there's a book that I always, hey Lisa, how you doing? It's a book I always recommend. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. It's by Wallace D. Wattles. This book was written about 120 years ago, and it is a more direct way of developing the habit and the frequency of mind to literally allow those channels to open. And he doesn't go super deep on the metaphysical aspects, but essentially he's saying, understand a couple things. There's a couple things that he really goes deep into. Understand that there is a substance which permeates all of creation, and this substance is thinking substance, right? And whenever man makes a thought in this thinking substance, right, then you begin to create. This is why in the Bible, right, they say that, we're made in God's image, right? And in the beginning, there was the word. And when you create mentally, right, the first principle of Hermetics is principle of mentalism. You are creating through your thoughts, and your frequency of your thoughts is what gives you your reality. You are co-creating with infinite intelligence, or, this substance of creation. Now, if you want to take full advantage of this, there's certain ways you must relate to this substance. He's talking about the Akasha, right? And being able to understand that you are one with it, and whatever thoughts that you place within this is what you begin to create as that light begins to manifest through this formless substance that permeates all things, and your belief structures about what that is, and then even your physical actions will literally manifest through this thought, feeling, action, this law of manifestation, right? So in it, he says that a couple things. One, know that right now, in this point, if your biggest worry is money, that should be your primary objective. Don't pay attention to anything else. And you're literally, and somebody came in here, or you're literally going into samadhi, single-pointed concentration on the aspect of wealth, money, right? If this is your biggest need, you literally pay attention to that. Number two, know that every other being on the face of this planet that comes and is born on this planet, God provides everything that they need in abundance. All the birds have everything they need. All the other animals, the whales, and everything, you come in here outside of weird circumstances, everything else on this planet, everything has everything that they need. What makes you think that you're separate than that, other than the idea that you've been sold? That the idea that, oh, you have to work really hard and go to school, and which is not true. It's not in alignment with universal law. It's not in alignment with nature. It's not in alignment with anything else. What makes you think out of every other being, every other substance in all of creation, which is provided for in abundance, that you are separate than that? Understand that. Understand too, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be wealthy. If you want to experience infinite intelligence, experience God, whatever your relationship to it is, that there's nothing wrong with having an abundant life. People who want to control you will tell you that, no, you got to be poor and meek and put your, whatever. And meek doesn't mean being poor. That is not godly for you to suffer. It's not. But if you take that on as a belief structure, then of course, people are going to benefit off of your suffering. God provides everything in which you can use purposefully. Everything exists through desire and purpose. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And Infinite intelligence will provide everything that you can find a purpose for. If you have, if you want to experience beauty in all respects, in every realm, in every aspect of your life, infinite intelligence, God, the Akasha, whatever your relationship to it is, your higher self, your guardian angel, whatever you want to relate to, will give you that. All the beauty that you can use to benefit yourself and all of creation, you can have that. But if you have it made up in your mind that it's not a thing, and my money can only come from Starbucks or whatever it is, and you're severing your ties to everything that you're connected through. Yeah, right view. It's Buddhism teaching. Right view, having the right view and right relationship. You're understanding the relationship to everything. But when it comes to wealth and money, it's not what you think it is. On a spiritual level and a reality-based level, it's nothing like they teach you. There's physical ways to develop money, right? And to make money, and that's all fine and dandy. Not talking about that. On the spiritual level, the correct way to relate to it so you can learn to be a good steward of it and to accept it with abundance, there's deep spiritual levels, and every billionaire knows this. That's why you think they all meditate early in the mornings and they have their old spiritual practices and stuff like that, even though they might not even, you can look at the habits of billionaires. This is how they relate to it. Especially if you are doing what you're doing for the benefit of others, then you can literally have access to even more abundance. Look at Elon Musk. You can hate the guy if you want to. He does what he does for the benefit of humanity, not for himself. That's why God says, here you go. You have everything you need to, you want to get everybody in space and you truly want to do it, here you go. You want to put everybody in electric cars, here you go. Not an issue. And like I said, I've shared this too. I was, it's this one podcast with Naval, who's an investor in like startups and stuff like that. He actually started like Angie's List or whatever. But what up, Mary Vellis? Even talk about Elon Musk. Like one of the biggest things that stuck out at all the, podcasts and lectures and stuff I've heard him say is like the grocery store owner who owns the grocery store on the corner probably works 10 times harder than Elon Musk. But the only difference is the frequency of their mind. Literally, like you think about everything you're going through, everything you're experiencing right now, how much time and energy you put into things that, that may not serve you, and you work really, really hard and get very little amounts of benefit from, right? Just a slight adjustment in psychology, a slight adjustment in your relationship to things with the same amount of energy, have far greater outcomes. I guarantee you that guy that owns that grocery store in the corner probably worked 10 times harder than Elon Musk to put that grocery store together, and probably working there 6 days a week himself to make it work. But completely different, types of psychology. More energy, less outcome. So your relationship to everything matters. And that relationship can be anything. This is a thing that people don't understand. It could be anything. People have all types of weird relationships with money. Some people worship it. I seen this one clip on TikTok. It was this big, weird, buff dude or whatever. And he's like cussing everybody, oh, you're not a man if you don't have this much money and this and that or whatever. Like, that's weird. That's insane. And anybody with any type of emotional intelligence can look like he's like overcompensating for like his lack of of like love, and then his inferiority complex and everything else. So he's built up this idea and relationship that in order for him to be masculine, he has to have really big muscles and a bunch of money, and everybody else that doesn't do it, they're not masculine, which is insane. But that's his relationship to it. It doesn't have to be that. That's the really ugly way to live, but your relationship to it matters. And it can come easily, it can come hard, it can come in many, many ways. But, if you focus your mind, literally, I suggest everybody this week, only, if money is your biggest issue, only focus on getting money. Only, nothing else. From the time you wake up, know that it can come from any direction in ways you've never even imagined, and allow those channels to flow. And literally, allow those channels to flow. And then your biggest worry, your biggest concern, and then for ideas, for the right action, right place, and for God to lead you to where you want to be, and literally only pay attention to that for this whole week. I promise you, next week, your life will be different. You'll have all types of opportunities. People literally go, hey, I'm looking for this. Like literally, only pay attention to that. Your karmic stream will change. I promise you, don't let anything else enter into your mind. There's nothing more important. If money is your biggest issue right here and right now, don't pay attention to anything else but making money. And I promise you, the insight, the understanding, the opportunities, people will start showing up. I promise you, don't pay attention to anything else. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, know that God is helping you to achieve everything that you want, and literally, it will come, and allow it to come from all the ways. But you have to put the action. Remember, in order for it to be in your physical environment, you have to be willing to do physical things that you may not have done. And it doesn't mean like, oh, you have to go and like, do some extreme work somewhere in order for you to get it. But you have to align physically for it to happen. You can't just sit in your room all day and think, oh, money's just going to drop in my lap. It doesn't exactly work that way. But when it comes, it's going to come through the hands of somebody else. Through God. I've had plenty of experiences in my personal life, like where I've been sitting on different missions, through divine providence, and it's always somebody else that's connected to light. Like I've found myself in the middle of nowhere and somebody's broke down. I pull up, everything in me, oh, I got to stop and help this person. They got like a Guadalupe hat on or a big cross, or, they're Buddhist, or there's somebody that's connected to light. And, oh my God, thank you so much. And it's like this equal exchange, and like in miraculous, beautiful ways. I mean this. But it's always through people. It will always come through the hands of people. That's how reality works. You are the connection to the divine. People are the physical connection in this physical realm that allows God to manifest in this physical realm. That's why they say we're made in God's image. Your physical actions, the things that you do through the frequency of your spirit, your mind, your emotions, your astral, emotional body and belief structures, your soul is the conduit to do things physically. So when you're purifying that, all right, you focus it, like I say, your actions will manifest through that. Your physical experiences will manifest through the frequency of your mind, the frequency of your emotions. So know that God is always going to provide everything that you need, and whatever frequency you place those needs on, you begin to create a resonance with, and that becomes where everything funnels into your physical reality. But if you hold on to belief, everything is all horrible and this and that, and I'm always sick, and somebody's holding me down, and that's what you get. Physically, that's what you're going to see. If you believe that the man is trying to hold you down and the police are all, beating everybody up, then you're going to be wrong place, wrong time. Well, right place, right time, because that's what you believe, But this is the nature of reality. You can look at, I can look at so many different experiences in my life where, raising the family and kids and everything else, even like, oh, I don't know where it's going to come from, but I know I got nothing to worry about. Just, look for the answers, and answers always appear. Never have to worry about anything. Literally, ever. But it's like that whole saying, he ain't gonna be there when you want, but he gonna be on time, always. But you have to create that resonance. So once again, if money is your biggest issue for this whole next week, don't pay attention to nothing else but making money. Every thought, every action, every feeling, I'm looking and going to allow these pathways to open up for me to achieve the wealth, the income, whatever else were it to come. But you have to be willing to surrender to it. You got to think differently. You got to feel differently. You got to do different actions. If you're just doing the same thing every day, you're not going to get a different outcome. You have to allow that higher part of yourself to guide you. Allow your spirit to guide you, and know that it can come from anywhere. Tap in. Tap in. But like, once again, if you're paying attention to TikTok, that's what you get. You're going to get all the TikTok stuff. That's what you're going to resonate with. You're going to see all the different memes and everything else in real life, and all the gossip, and oh, you hear about this, and that's going to be your physical reality. Switch your TikTok. Go to Crypto Talk. Now's the perfect time. Invest in crypto. Invest in Doge and in XRP and in all these different things. They're not going to do anything but grow. I left $3 in this crypto account like a month ago, and it's named after Elon's Department of Government Efficiency. I left $3, and it's up to like $500 right now from $3. I wish I would have put $1,000 in. I literally have like 400 grand right now. Like literally, I just accidentally left it in there. Okay, cool, whatever. It can come from anywhere. But once again, you must know that, you are connected to all. to everyone and everything. And then, the part of you, the essence of you that is God, that is a vibrational match to God, to the universal mind, infinite intelligence, is also part of everything and everyone. And, the way that we relate to ourselves, to our environment, to other people, to money, it matters. Because that relationship, you're cultivating that relationship. Everything can come easy. You can be surrounded around beautiful people that believe, in evolution and growth, and will help you get there. But if you believe everybody around me is just stupid, this and that, then you're literally going to sever that tie and cut off your connections from everything and everyone around you, and those blessings will have no channel to come through. So when we're talking about light, you're building, relationships, you're building channels, you're opening up literal energetic pathways for money, emotions, experiences, right? Connections to come through. If you don't have those channels open, there's no way you can take advantage of it. So it's very important that you look at that. And once again, I suggest, if money is your issue, there's a audiobook. It's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Listen to it. And once again, it's very, very powerful. It's a very, very powerful level of psychology, to understand it like that. And if you have any questions, you can message me. You got some traumas and some belief structures you want to get rid of and alchemize. You do the whole quantum healing thing and go along that path. Oh, got to rearrange. I've been sitting on this on this stump for a minute. Butt kind of hurting. So appreciate it so much. Listen, life is beautiful. Life is magical. And I mean this, it's infinite. So the amount of ways that light can manifest into your experience is also infinite. So allow those infinite possibilities to become a reality. Allow that to hold grounding in your experience, because once again, life is a belief-based thing. The astral is a belief-based thing. You get what you believe. And if you only believe in rigidness and being contracted and victim mentality, then that's what you get. But it can be whatever you want it to be. So with that, before my stabilizer dies, I'm going to give you guys a blessing, and this is for growth. For everybody to grow, right? Mentally, astrally, physically, emotionally, financially. So my mom grew up super poor, eating rotten mangoes from the floor. Even though that has not been my story, I think it's in my DNA. It's not in your DNA. That's like people saying, oh, diabetes runs in my family. No, bad eating habits run into my family. Nobody has a genetic disposition to diabetes. It's literally, if everybody drinks Kool-Aid with 3 cups of sugar in it, odds are it's going to affect you and everybody else. And it's just habits and stuff that we've kind of grown to submit ourselves to, and you have the ability to change it, but you have to take radical ownership of your life. Nothing can dictate the things that happen in your life unless you allow it to, unless you submit and surrender to it. The essence of you is the creator of all of this. And I want everybody to let that sink in. The essence of who and what you are is literally God. So anything that you believe has power over you, it only does because you say so. So understand that. And take advantage of the power that you do have. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this blessing. And if you want to, the power that you do have. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this blessing. And if you want to accept this, just you'll be like, oh, I saw this light and this and that. I try to control. Just allow it to happen. If you want to accept it, just let it be, and just be open to accepting it. So I'm going to share this, okay? hope you receive that. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Um, as always, I hope everybody has a very, very blessed and beautiful rest of your day. For those of you that's in the Kabbalah course, I will see you guys later this evening. If you are interested in joining into the Master Key course, once again, check out the link in the bio. If you use the promo code MOON, it's 50% off. You get year-long access to it. It's monthly options too. Um, you know, but that's available. You get instant access to all the video libraries and even being able to join in the group Zoom meetings this weekend. But it's life-changing. It's beautiful. Just, don't give your power away to anything or anybody. Know that you are, the master of your reality, and everything that's in your reality right now, there's a part of you that subconsciously is okay with it, but you have the ability to change it and make it whatever you wish it to be. So don't give that power away. Until next time, I hope you all have a very, very, very blessed and beautiful rest of your journey, and I'll see you guys later.